Hey there, and welcome back to Tim Talks Cooking. Today, we are talking chicken stock, my friends. That's right, you heard me. We are talking chicken bone broth. And you may be wondering, what's the difference? Well, as it turns out, there's not really any difference. They're pretty much interchangeable as long as you're cooking with bones. Anyway, which is what we're doing today. Chicken legs were on sale at the grocery store today, so I got a big old pack of them for about 89 cents a pound. And I'm going to show you how to make a whole bunch of chicken stock with it. Part of it in the Instant Pot, and we'll see how that measures up against the stovetop pressure cooker that I use usually to make really large batches of stock in. Anyway, let's get started. Here's what you'll need to make this incredible broth. Now, of course, I'm going to divide this up about like this, 2/3 for the larger pressure cooker and 1/3 for the smaller Instant Pot. And here's what I'm going to use. This should make about 10 to 12 quarts of stock. I've got 5 pounds of bone-in chicken parts. Here I've got chicken legs. Like I said, they were on sale today at the grocery store, and so I'm taking advantage of that. You also need some assorted vegetables. Now you can of course vary these for your own taste. I've got some very basic ones here. I have 3 large carrots, 2 nice-sized turnips, a bunch of parsley that actually might otherwise go bad in the refrigerator. I've got some celery stalks here, a couple of parsnips. Ever use parsnips? Well, these are the parsnips. You're gonna like it. They're really great in chicken stock. And I've got 1½ heads of whole garlic, about 4 tablespoons of Italian seasoning, some kosher salt, and some freshly ground black pepper, and a couple of onions that I'm also going to cut up to put with the rest of our vegetables. To prepare the onion, first we slice it in half lengthwise like this. Chop off either end. We're going to discard these things. We're not going to be too fussy with it. Again, this is for stock. But I do want to get this peel off of it. Pull that off of it like that. I cut it into slices like this. And then into thirds. And it's ready for the pot. For the garlic, I had this in 1/2 of another head. I removed some of the peel. It doesn't really matter whether it's there or not. And I slice right through it, just like that. Preparing the vegetables is really pretty easy. We're just going to clean up our turnip here. I've already scrubbed it and washed it and dried it actually. Cut off that stem end. You see how perfectly beautiful and white it is. Some people peel their turnips and carrots and parsnips. I do not. Let's just remove this stuff. Do the compost. And here, I'm going to cut this into quarters. And cut the quarters into quarters. This is a nice size for them to give up all their juices and still be easy to fish out at the end of our cooking process. That's it for our turnips. For our carrots, and I'll just show you on one of each vegetable. Remove each end. I've scrubbed this and dried it off and everything. It's a very clean carrot, so I'm not going to peel it. This is for stock. I don't care what it looks like. We cut it in half and then in pieces like this. My goal here is to make them small enough for all of the carrot juices that we want to come out, but large enough to fish out. As for the parsnip, very similar, looks just like the carrot, also scrubbed. It might look a little dirty here and there. If you're bothered by that, go ahead and peel it. That's fine. I'm not, so I'm going to leave it on. And just as the carrot, I'll cut it into pieces that won't be difficult to fish out. And there we have it. For the celery, no need to be fancy about it at all. I'm just going to simply slice it into about 1-inch pieces. And I'm going to do the same thing with the parsley. And here, as you can see, I've got my vegetables all chopped up and ready to go. Here's the pile for the Instant Pot, and here's the pile for my larger stovetop pressure cooker. The first thing we've got to do is season our meat here. I'm going to start by drizzling a little extra virgin olive oil over these chicken legs. And I'm being pretty generous with it. That's because we're going to brown these by frying them. I'm just going to turn them to coat in the oil. Next, I'm going to season them generously with salt. I know that looks like a lot of salt, but it's really just what we need here. Freshly ground black pepper. And while I'm doing this, I'm preheating on the stovetop over medium-high heat my pressure cooker base. We're going to fry up some of these in that. And I've also got the Instant Pot on saute. That's heating up. I'm going to give those about 2 minutes altogether, and then we'll start frying them. Okay, this pan is searing hot, and we are ready to go. I'm going to put them seasoned side down in the bottom of the pressure cooker. You can hear that sizzle. That's what we want. And the rest of these are going in the Instant Pot. And now let's load up the Instant Pot with chicken legs. Get them in there. And here I'm trying to get the seasoning side down, as I mentioned earlier. Give them just a little more salt. A little more freshly ground black pepper. And our goal here is to get some color on each side of them. So I'm going to saute these until they've browned on each side. That's going to take us a good 10 to 15 minutes. Here you can see I've just turned these. They're getting browned on one side. And if you're wondering, why are we browning the chicken? Well, here's why. You know that, first of all, chicken broth has kind of a golden color. It's going to get its golden color from this browning partly. And also from these brown bits that are on the bottom of our pan. That's called fons, if it's spelled F-O-N-D-S. And that means flavor right there. We want to get as much of that on there as possible. That's going to make our stock delicious and rich. I'm going to continue browning the outside of these. It's not going to cook all the inside there at all until we've really got them nice and golden brown. And we're going to do that with the Instant Pot as well. You can see here with the Instant Pot that it's doing a pretty good job of browning them. It's stuck there, that's okay. Again, we want that stuff on the bottom to be stuck there, but it's certainly powerful enough to brown them in a rather short amount of time. Once the chicken has browned, as this has, we're just going to take all of the vegetables and simply add them. We're just going to dump them in. And next, I'm going to fill this up 2/3 of the way full with water. I've added 3 tablespoons of Italian seasoning here, and now I'm going to put the top on and attach my bobber and weigh it down so that we'll end up with 15 pounds pressure in there. And we'll wait for that to start bobbing. Our chicken's browned here too. Time to get those vegetables in there. A little crowded, that's all right. I'm going to fill this up 2/3 of the way with water and get it started. I've turned my Instant Pot off. I'm going to add my Italian seasoning. That's about a tablespoon. Now we're going to get our lid. Hopefully attach the lid smoothly. There we go. Swing it on there. And I'll put it on the meat and stew setting here for 30 minutes. Okay, now we're at my pressure cooker. It's been 35 minutes since I've had it on high heat. And it's just about, as you can see, the pressure valve is lifted up here. It's just about to start bobbing. I'll show you what that looks like. There we go, just started bobbing. I'm going to set my timer here for 10 minutes. Here you can see my Instant Pot has already begun to count backwards from 30. We're at 28 here now, so 28 minutes from now we're going to turn off the heat and let the pressure descend naturally. And you can hear in the background my stovetop pressure cooker. It's bobbing away there, and you can hear that hissing sound. It's got 5 minutes left, more or less, and then we'll be turning that off and letting it return to the same air pressure as the room on its own, which will take about a half an hour. Okay, and now it's been exactly 10 minutes. I'm going to turn off my timer. I'm also going to turn the heat off here and remove my pressure canner from the heat. We're going to let this cool on its own and come down to the pressure of the room. It's going to take about 35 minutes or so. Meanwhile, the Instant Pot still has 19 minutes to go. And there's our timer on the Instant Pot. Now we're going to turn this off, and we're going to let the pressure descend on its own without turning it to vent for about 15 to 20 minutes. If we tilt the bobber and there's no hissing, then the pressure has returned to normal. And so we can open the lid. And let's see what we've got here. Yeah, look at that nice golden color. Very beautiful. Now we've got a little fat going on there. I need to strain this, and then we're going to put it into quart jars. This is what's left over of the pressure cooker. You can see there's quite a bit of meat. That looks pretty good on these bones. We're going to pull that out of there, and we're also going to use the rest of the stock that's in there. I managed to get 8 quarts of stock out of that. As for the Instant Pot, let's see if there's a little hissing going on there. We're going to just go ahead and leave it like that, let it descend on its own, wait for that to end. Once that's over, we can open the top. And let's see what we've got. Look at that. Oh, it's just beautiful. It's still boiling away. Time to strain it and see what we've got. Well, all right, let's see where we end up. Here, from the pressure cooker on the stove top, I got actually 2 entire gallons of stock. That's 8 quarts of stock, and look at it, it's just beautiful. It's a little bit lighter in color than what we have here from the Instant Pot, and we'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, here we go. It's really quite a bit. I'm sure it's delicious, and I have a little sample of it here. Ooh, the bouquet. Anyway, just lovely. Oh yeah, that is chicken stock, all right. Delicious. I think I'd find this comforting if I were sick, but it's a little bland as it is. That's all right. It's never the star of the show. Now, here we've got the Instant Pot version, and a little darker in color. Maybe it tastes richer. Let's see. Oh. Actually, it does have a slightly richer flavor. I feel like I can really taste the vegetables in this one. A little sweeter. Very nice. You know what? I like them both a whole lot. This one I think has a little bit more flavor. So it's your choice. Go for volume or for flavor. Up to you. Thanks for watching us here today, Tim Talks Cooking. Tell you what, before you go, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and especially subscribe. Oh, please subscribe. It helps my channel grow. And if you click that notifications bell, you'll be notified every time I upload videos a couple of times a week. Listen, we'll catch you next time here at Tim Talks Cooking.